It is now 10 years since the Sheffield Great Flood of June 2017 that split the city in half and claimed 2 lives, doing much damage to over 2,000 properties that line the riverbank that runs through the whole of the city from Totley in the south to Meadowhall in the north, many suffering major flood damage. And here's a unique timeline of what happened before, during and after the June 2017 flood. Little did the residents of Britain's 5th largest city know that today they were about to experience the worst flooding in 150 years. At 1:30 p.m, the River Don that runs through the heart of the city was a raging torrent, but never in living memory had it been known to actually flood.
Some people. The people in it. So I can zoom in. No. I think we should all put the trainees to stand. We'll take video. Look at the water.
Parts of the river walkway have started to flood. There is no visible risk of the river bursting its banks yet.
The bridge is overflown. If someone was walking there, they'd be drowning. Jesus Christ. Amina! Yeah, I'm taking video. Look at the photos. The photos, you don't do it justice. Well, let's take from the beach. Look, it's coming up to the
The river level continues to rise and is starting to threaten footbridge crossings.
What you can see from the beach? No, it's getting close to it. No, look, no gloves.
The drainage system fails as the car park and buildings start to flood. Barely a few minutes later and the flooding at reception worsens with the waters rising fast. There is little that can be done to prevent the inevitable.
I've been here 15 years.
Within 10 minutes the car park has started to sustain serious flooding. If people do not move their cars immediately, then it will be soon too late to do so.
You can get back door. Back door. It's back waiting. And there's door there.
Is this the only exit to this car park?
Yeah.
Chris, you can't go out from the building.
They can come this way. What cars? Oh, the cars, yeah. They need to move them for the Sayat Centre.
The Wicker High Street is starting to sustain serious flooding, which is impacting on traffic flow as they're finding it difficult to navigate the rising waters. It won't be too long before vehicles are unable to drive through the deepening waters. Barely 15 minutes later, it is now too late to move cars as flooding has impacted on vehicle systems. By 2:21 p.m, water is pouring into the reception area. Those remaining in the building should go home immediately, else risk becoming stranded. 2:30 p.m. and the car park is completely flooded to a depth of up to 3 feet.
Jesus Christ, all the stuff in workshop 3 is going to be ruined. Cars, vans ruined. Hey, let me take a photo.
The emergency services can now be seen patrolling the area in boats looking for stranded persons. Many vehicles lie abandoned throughout the flooded area.
Don't go near the water boogie. Mr. Goats. Look at the river flow. Sayat car park is completely flooded. The daft people did not move their cars.
Cars are literally starting to float as the waters just keep rising.
Workshop 3 is gone.
The video clearly shows that the primary reason for the flooding was failure of the drainage system, as water is flowing into the river and not from the bank into the surrounding area. Therefore, the drainage system needs to be upgraded to prevent future flooding. Hundreds of stranded personnel. These rescue operations continue throughout the night.
Shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor early in the morning? Keep my leg with run, 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 my leg with
Now 4 hours since the coverage of the flood began, and the waters are rising as the river further floods neighbouring streets.
This is on the bridge.
In bypassing a police cordon, we managed to get onto a low-lying footbridge. The waters look set to continue to rise for several more hours, peaking at about 11 p.m.
Full flood. The policeman has just told us all to leave. Look at the flood. Look at the flood. After the flood.
The
So,
day after, the whole area has been caked in several inches of toxic mud that will need to be cleared out at great expense.
1, 2,
The water had risen to at least 3 feet at its peak.
1, 2, 3. Yeah, the water came up to 3 feet. Megs is ruined. Looks like workshop 3 is flooded. The best open it to let the water out. This car was floating. Let's have a look at the car. See, this would have happened to my car, Gugs.
A sign of the force of the waters can be seen in the footpaths that were literally ripped apart and washed away, with far more damage inside the premises.
Sheffield City Council has thought up a new nightmare for Encliffe Park. Now they're going to flood all the area.
And the City Council over the past decade has announced and implemented many flood defence measures across the city to prevent a repeat of the 2017 floods. The most notable of which will be to lower the height of the Encliffe Park green area, turning it into a lake whenever there is heavy rainfall, so probably several times a year.
So what they're going to do is lower all this area by a few meters, so when it rains a lot, the water will flood all the park instead of the street.